going to come out and I'm going to say it. Trading card games are a financial investment. Now, make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Now, you're not going to like what I have to say in this video, but I'm going to be looking at this from a time investment standpoint for a lot of this, and making sure that people understand that time spent is money. All right, so those, for example, if you're a normal working person out here and you're working so many hours a week, all right, so if you're making, we're going to use $15 an hour for minimum wage, all right, it can be different elsewhere, that's fine, times a 40-hour work week, you're getting 600 as the raw base number, all right, so that means that you've invested 40 hours of your time into this job to get a $600 paycheck. Now, so I've dedicated this time into acquiring this money. So now we have money that we can go buy trading cards with. All right, so now that I've spent 40 hours of my life to get this, I go over here and I look at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I see, we're going to say a playset of Mul Charmies right now is $450. I have now invested, what, like 30 hours of my life into this playset of Mul Charmies, which means we have a 30-hour investment of our time into this project out here. So, and this is true for anything in life out here. If you are looking at wanting to purchase a new video game, if you're wanting to know how much of your time you're going to have to spend towards bills, how much time you are going to have to trade off out here to get that new PS5 that's $700, which is ridiculous, by the way. It's a time to money investment out here. And that's why people look at this, and when people say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't a financial investment, that is massively incorrect. Because I like to know that the time that I have spent into this will give me the chance or opportunity to still maintain some sort of value out here. And you've heard me in the past talk about people that will go, hey, I'm going to buy a deck for this regional. All right, I really want to play Snake Eyes, for example. So you'll have people out here that will pick up an entire Snake Eyes deck, and they'll play it for the event. Whether or not they do good, they will immediately sell it after the event for 70% per se online, or something like 80%. They lose 20%, but that was their, we're going to say, investment into wanting to play the deck. That's a lot more common of a thing than you might ever actually think it is, and it sounds so interestingly stupid to some people to be like, so they bought the deck at full price, but they're selling it immediately after the regional to get back some of their money off of it, and they still had their fun playing it. Yes, actually, I know. I still think it's a little bit weird, but I like to mention that little detail because they're fine with losing 20%, 30% to play the regional to have fun because they really like the deck. Yeah, I know, right? Some time to money investments are interesting. So when we come to the next little check mark here for this. So we get down to the, Yu-Gi-Oh! Should be cheap. Yes, I will be the first person to tell you here. Rarity Collection 1, Rarity Collection 2 did a fantastic job. It beat Forbidden Droplet, Dark Ruler No More, Ash Blossom, all these staple cards. From those eras, they made the entry point insanely easier. I'm not saying that Ash Blossoms are worthless now, but Ash Blossoms hitting, that $4 to $5 mark definitely helped out. And I've actually had, in the world of collection pickups, you guys like a little bit more of the businessy discussions on this channel. Staples are now so cheap that when people want to sell you a collection, a lot of players are just like, I'm going to keep my staples. There's no point in selling these because, one, I'm not going to get hardly anything off of them, and two, in case I decide to come back to the game, I have my staples. That's a good mentality. It's bad for business, but it's a good mentality that these cards are available because it keeps players ready in case they see something that they want to come back to. All right, that's a very interesting takeaway from this. I don't think a lot of people have realized. With Staples becoming so cheap and people just looking at their collections going, it's not even worth it to sell it. So when they quit and they come back at a later date, they don't have, well, I mean, you'll have to spend some sort of money to kind of return back into the game because, you know, you always will have the next modern era card that's worth something. Welcome to Power Creep. Especially, you know, SP, the Horus cards last year, the Snake Eye stuff, were all topics of last year. And then we go into this year and it's the Mulch Army. You know, who knows what 2025 October is going to bring us out here when we're looking at like the harbinger of the end of times part 25. All right, so there's that. So those are all major points that I wanted to bring up out here. Is people want, at least they want to feel a sense of, all right, my time has been used for this, and if I need to sell what I put my time into, I can get something else back out of it. And I agree with that, all right? I like knowing that if I've spent, you know, all of this time in something, that I can pull it back out and get something off it. Now, this will not be every single case out there, all right? There are exceptions to the rule. Of course, there always will be. I mean, there'll just be certain projects that'll fail. You know, ban lists do exist. But I do not think that it is incorrect to go, hey, I'm spending $200 on this Yu-Gi-Oh deck, that it shouldn't be worth me getting back some sort of value off of it. I think that's incorrect to look at this. And I think a lot of this topic comes back from the Magic the Gathering Commander thing as of late, where, you know, players, the very casual players, like, this is not the competitive player that wants to spend, you know, money to have these top end cards. These are your casual player base that have been told for 10 years that, you know, these cards aren't going to have anything happen to them. They felt very confident in this. You know, they saved up a couple of paychecks to buy the $100 card. You know, putting $25 aside a paycheck is challenging for some people. But if they finally manage it after 4 weeks, finally get this card, and then a year later, you know, after it's been allowed to be around for as long as it has been, to see that go to the wayside, I understand why people are upset. I get it, all right? Especially people in more challenging financial constraints out here that did finally get to that accomplishment out here. It invalidates all the hard work and things that they've done, and I can understand why they're upset about this. It's nothing feels worse than accomplishing something and then getting slapped in the face and having that accomplishment feel worthless. All right, it is a real big slap in the face out here. And that's where, you know, you have the argument come down to, well, you know, this shouldn't be, financial cards shouldn't be investments. Well, it's strange because where, you know, you can make that argument every single time, you also have the higher rarity people looking at this going, well, you know, all of a sudden the higher rarity card got bought out. Why did it go up? You know, this isn't a financial investment out here. Well, money was still made. All right, any sort of gain that happens from this, you will find people wanting to put their money in that area for it to go up. It's supply and demand. People are going to see a free plus. They're going to take advantage of it. It's the same thing out here. Whether or not you believe that trading card games are investments, that's fine. The reality of the situation is trading card games are financial investments. People do make money off of this. People will always need to be paid for their time. If you do not want to sit here and sort trading cards for a living, but you go down to your locals to sell your cards to for somebody whose job it is for that, while your job might be working at Walmart, Amazon, wherever else it is, you are basically needing to understand it is a trade-off for time, for somebody else doing these different jobs. Economics. It's a very interesting thing out here. But I wanted to get that out of my system because trading cards are always going to be an investment. They always will be. There'll always be something shiny, a prize card. It's frustrating. What if I win a championship? Wow. My time investment just got paid out. I just sold my prize card for a couple $1,000s. Huh. So now I want to invest in the best deck to be able to play. So trading cards are an investment after all. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.